But with this Venge coming out, it could mean a Drow Ranger, it could mean something like an Arc Warden as
Mm.
well. 496, they have a chance to pick up the Drow now if they want. Or alternatively, just be ready for it when it does come out.
Yeah, I think they could sneak a Spectre in if they feel confident about that matchup that we see a lot of teams go into. I think you might be dragging yourself a bit too long there, though, with a Spectre pickup. I mean, they've got the clockwork to kind of gap close anyway. I don't think a Drow fits 496's lineup too well. You don't really have anything to maximize it, so you're going to have to let it go in. They do go with the Spectre, so they're
Okay.
preempting the Drow, preempting even the Arc Warden to a certain extent. We'll see if they can maximize it. Like, we've seen a little bit of Spectre back in, but results have been pretty lackluster. The timing has still sort of hurt, so we'll see if 496 can kind of fix that up. And I want to ask something, Mike. I don't think that's Yassian, is that? Or at least, I mean, Rushman. Is
That
that
is
another
true.
sub? Is
It
that?
uh, it
Hmm,
could be. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'd assume it would be.
hmm,
So maybe we're not going to have Yassi in this game. Still, new esports. They actually
hmm.
go back for a Medusa pickup now. So not the Drow. They'll ignore the Drow, the Arc Warden. They'll go for the Medusa. A very Boom Esports-esque kind of draft coming out now from new esports. But
Oh
in
yeah,
all fairness, they
oh
don't
yeah,
really have much to do with the Medusa. Because
yeah. It's a.
if you wanna go into the late game with the Spectre, how do you fight Medusa late game? It's just
Mm.
kind of ridiculous.
It's a back and forth. I love that new esports kind of preempted. And the Medusa actually has some pretty sweet power spikes, right? Like you get a Mask of Madness, maybe a Yasha on top or a Manta, you're actually ready to go and fight. You can fight pretty early on. You've got some great team fight. You can force them to not focus on the snap by tossing out the gaze early. So there's a lot of options there for new esports. 496 now. I mean, you've got the Spectre, which again goes late. Was preemptive to maybe deal with Drow. That doesn't look to be the case anymore. We'll see what else they pull out. I think they might be lacking a mid or off, depending on where they toss this Doom. So they will show their hand last. I think 496 is gonna enjoy that flexibility because they've got last pick overall. So new esports will have to show us first what they want to do. Like, is this a Medusa mid? Is this a Medusa safe with an off lane, a different off lane coming out, or a mid tiny coming out? A lot of options there, but they're gonna have to reveal it first.
That they will. Final ban is actually going to be the Underlord. So new esports potentially still just lacking an offlane pick. I guess the Underlord would have been quite nice into the Spectre, and as well as that, just kind of delaying the game out for this Medusa. Been a very nice pickup for new esports had they been able to pick it up.
Hmm.
What do you want for this last pick, though? It does feel like you are lacking some kind of frontlining core here
Mhm.
from new esports. Just someone to be the meat shield for the Medusa. Or maybe not. They'll go for a Phoenix pickup.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's not what I'd expect. The combination. I mean, it's actually does work nicely, right? So you get Stone Gaze off, you get the egg in the back. You have to choose. Do you hit the egg and risk the Stone Gaze? Do you just run away, let the egg go off? I think that's one way to make it work. What the question on my mind is, how do you lane this? Is this Medusa safe, a snap mid, Phoenix off? Is this a Medusa safe, tiny mid, Phoenix off? There's some flexibility still left for you. We're gonna see what exactly they want to get done there. I think uh, those combinations are pretty viable. You might prefer Medusa mid, especially if it's the Doom mid. I think the Medusa wins that matchup hard because of the range advantage, but we'll find out soon. 496. They also have that flexibility here with the Doom, and they've got to show us whether or not they want to run that mid or if they want to run it off. It's going to look like a really solid back and forth, really unique drafts from both
Ooh,
sides, and the
wow.
Monkey King comes out. So, ooh, that's. I don't think we've actually seen that in the entirety of groups, have we?
No. No, we have not. Maybe one game, actually. I can't remember 100% now,
Hmm.
but they bring out something special here, the Monkey King.
Is hmm
Yes?
is is this Russman from RRQ before?
It
You know, the
might be.
the old top one in C, if I recall right, a few years back. But it feels like it because it's pretty close. So yeah, Russman on the Spectre. That's something we watched way back when. Hong on the Monkey King mid, and red is going to take the Doom off. So Lance is on the safe lane Dusa. It's a Snapfire from DDZ. That's going to be a joy to watch. We'll see what the Monkey King does. I mean, you do have longer range, right, as a melee, but still a snap. Going to
It
be some
is.
pressure there down mid. And I'm not too sure how I feel about the Monkey into the Phoenix. I think, again, you worry about the Medusa here. I think the Fusel Blades have to come out for the Spectre and the Monkey King just to handle that, just to burn her down really quick. And once you get those timings up, I think it can line up pretty nicely. Lance has to be a bit cautious with his positioning, and Candy Loon as well. Going to be an exciting one. Really unique drafts from both sides for game one.
It is. I think the idea with this Monkey King is just to try and set a tempo for 496 and just follow up with Russman on the Spectre. Try to allow him to get involved early on while not having to fully commit, so he can just kind of haunt in, join a team fight, take a kill here or there, and just back off, get back to farming. And you kind of want that up against the Medusa. You don't want to play the complete kind of late game up against Dusa, because it's Medusa with a Vengeful Spirit. I mean, she's going to hit you from a mile away. You're never going to be able to finish the game with the Medusa in the game if you let her farm up.
Yep, it's not going to go well. Still, I can verify, by the way, that should be Rusman, yeah, from old RRQ. So they do have a stand-in. Again, that's on top of the fact that they've got red playing for the rest. We'll see how it affects it. I do worry a bit for 496 there, because this definitely does affect chemistry. I mean, remember, 496 is an all-Vietnamese stack. Rusman is Indonesian, so there might be some language barriers to overcome as well for this team.
I'd say there would be. Well, see how they make it work, though. Sometimes with Dota, you just need a ping. That's basically how most people play these days. Just don't talk. Just ping out and I'll come. They might find Mosin. They went for that early smoke.
30 seconds to battle.
It's like the side of New Esports going to avoid the early team fight, and they are one of the only teams that don't have any heroes just hanging out in that triangle. So they know that 496 will go after that area.
They've gotten the read on it. Again, they did just play a series against 496 yesterday, so it's a bit unfortunate you have to redo that series again. But again, perhaps 496 have picked up new tricks, and maybe they can counteract what New has. Still, looks like an even trade on those bounties, and we'll watch these lanes evolve. Rusman, though, being aggressive with the dagger, and Yamate?
Yeah, he's dropping a bit low here on the Tiny. Not quite low enough, however. They can't dive the tier 1 tower, and they'll just have to take a few tier 1 tower hits and back off. That might mean that Yamate, yeah, he'll just run back to the fountain. Just TP back up when he has full HP, full mana. Might even be able to grab himself a Mango or a Clarity on the way up. Should be quite nice for him.
Yeah, that does set Rusman up for a pretty even start here. You do have to watch out for the Fire Spirits from Candy if they do come in, but they're running this aggro tri-lane.
Yes, they are.
Just gonna try to look for first blood, but feels like the spacing's not quite right. This is gonna make it hard for Yamate. I think he's just gonna look for, let's say a creep pull here to get the XP
Yamate.
up.
Not sure what he was doing there, but he's gonna get caught out. He'll go for the toss, but they have the Fortune's End to hold him down. But Bombi cannot catch up, as he does have the brown boots on the Tiny. They'll have to let him go. Focus your attention back towards Candy Loon. You don't want him getting free XP on this Phoenix. This Phoenix could be rather problematic for the Spectre if he does get a good start off.
Yeah, it's an interesting first skill up for Candy. He does go with a dive, so it's a bit more defensive, not opting to play with the Fire Spirits. I think that's fair when you see this tri-lane. And so far, they haven't really been able to zone Candy too far. I think you're happy enough if you're New Esports up there. Still, the mid lane matchup is not one you see too often. Monkey against Snap. And it is looking fairly even on the last hits. Of course, Hong can't quite just go up and get some right clicks off to get some Jingu stacks. DDZ, he can punish with a Scatter Blast and with a little Shredder that he does pick up. So not going for the cookie play makes it harder for Hong to be as offensive as he'd want here.
It does. We'll see what Hung does about it, though. Like, they must have some kind of game plan with this Monkey King pickup. It really isn't in meta, so they're going to have to show us something special to make this hero work. Especially up against the side of New Esports, who aren't exactly a weak team or anything like that. They've been looking pretty darn good recently. Bot lane, of course, Red and Dat BB now going to be with each other, so Dat decides he doesn't want to be up top anymore. He'll come down towards that bot lane, try to help out Red on the Doom. In all fairness, Red has been struggling a lot. He's still sitting at 4 last hits on that Doom. Of course, he has been getting some devours off, but not as many as you would hope. In fact, he has a devour right now if he wants to get something. He does choose to go for that middle creep, and we'll get the mana burn onto Lance. So just wants to mana burn the Medusa over and over again.
Yeah, that is fairly annoying, to be fair. It's not like Lance has a lot of starting mana as well, but this is still not the ideal lane for Red. And it's definitely not something where you expect the Doom to completely overtake. So Lance, steady farm up, good amount of last hits here, keeping up with the farm you're seeing from Rusman. Sets the cores out evenly.
Candelo in top lane was in a bit of trouble there, but it's like Yamate will be able to protect him over on that Tiny. He's just fine. I was kind of intrigued as well, John, that Red didn't bother devouring the Satyr Tormentor instead, because you get a lot of passive regen. In fact, it's 5 health regen out of taking the other creep that he could have devoured. That BB gonna go down. Red can't really do too much about it. Still trying to drain mana off this Medusa and Venge, but again, you'd kind of rather see Red with that bonus 5 HP, just so he can tank all this damage.
Yeah, it's a bit problematic. I think he might be too low level to get it. I forget how it works nowadays. Yeah, max creep level's a bit too low.
Oh, right, that'll explain. Yeah.
Yeah, it needs a level 3 Devour, I think, to take that creep, so it's going to be stuck in this situation for a while. Just gives a good time there, and up top.
Candy, tried to Icarus dive out, but Bombi has the control. Candy should be dropping, and does. Bombi gets him, and now Yamate even going to take a lot of damage out of Bombi. Never want to underestimate that level 2 battery assault. So Bombi has already hit that level 3 mark. Might even turn back around now to Yamate, who's stuck around, but the Cogs pushback is there from Bombi. They don't have enough mana for another battery assault yet, but the clarity is still going, and they may not even need it. Yamate does die anyway to Russman. On the brighter side, though, bot lane, Red did end up going down to Mosin for New Esports, so it's not all bad for New Esports.
No, they're finding trades here and there for both New and 496. Both of their safe lanes are having a good time, really even in farm. I think the one issue right now is perhaps the mid. I mean, DDZ is not too far behind Hung. It looks like about a creep wave difference. But Hung has gotten some space out now on the Monkey. So he's going to be approaching his level 6 mark. Probably not going to go for the Wukongs until 8 or 9, maybe even 10. But this does set him up for the accelerated farm you want to see from that hero. And at some point, Hung, he can start looking to side lanes, make an appearance, jump to the tree line. You have to be really cautious here, and you keep track of where the Monkey King goes around.
Lance still having his mana drained there by Red. It's just so funny to see, because it kind of makes sense, right? You just can't spam Mystic Stake now. Eventually, Red's going to be able to just maintain himself in the lane, and now even Hung's going to rotate on the Monkey. Onto Lance. Fortune's End's going to fly out, and they're just going to rush him. Lance. It's an early rotation out from Hung, but it does pay off.
I mean, he's got that level 6 timer, you know? It's level 3 Jingu, you've got level 2 in Boundless, you've got a value point in Tree Dance to make this happen, although Bombi...
Spotted danger, he does have help coming in, but it may not matter. Here's your Jingu Mastery coming out from Hung. Onto DDZ. Takes him out. So far, a great start for this Monkey King.
Those are costly mistakes for New to make. They're just being really worked here by 496. Bombi's just been on point with his clock. I mean, the top lane, his positioning's been great. His timing in the mid lane has been great as well. So, Hung, he's off to a really fast start. He's going for that diffusal buildup. Once you've got that, you don't need the mana burn on your Doom. You can just burn him down with your right clicks.
I love it. It's just... Are they really going to go 2 diffusals? Like,
yeah, I think so. Like, you've got to, right? It's a Medusa. You just take out the mana. She's kind of useless. It's like a glorified range creep.
It's just such a basic idea, though. Like, you'd think it'd be a bit more complicated than that, but they're just going to go straight up double diffusal blades and just drain the mana of the Medusa the whole game. I love it though. I love the simplicity in it. If it works, it works. Nothing wrong with that.
And, yeah, and Hung is still looking for more. I mean, he feels strong, so he can go around. Doesn't dodge a magic missile though, but you can see he's done with mid. He doesn't care that DDZ finds farm. He wants to keep track of Lance. You cannot allow the Medusa to have any form of good ramp up. And in that sense, 496, they've been on point with at least keeping track there. You would like to see New kind of give that same fight back up top, but Candy.
Bombi, one of his kisses flying in. He will go down. Trying to get that Phoenix again, but Candy did have the Icarus dive and the egg for that matter. It was always going to be just safe. So nice little rotation out now from our Snap. And DDZ, I don't even know if he went that far. He's been trying to farm these stacks. He was probably shooting it from this range.
Yeah, surrounding you, rune spot, and he's going for the Necronomicon.
Whoa.
On the Snap.
Haunt bot lane, Mosin going to be caught out here. Russman will join in, and Mosin going to go down. They even get the Spectre kill going, so another nice little kill out for Russman. They might even start on the bot T1 tower push for a bit. Why the hell not?
Yeah, they could get some good damage in. You do have New Esports also positioned up top to get some damage out. DDZ's around. He's got 1 point in the little shredder to do some chip damage. And they can get started. It's only Bombi here to defend. Not much a Clockwork can do in this case.
No. Candy is at that 7 mark now as well on the Phoenix, so those Fire Spirits do a lot of damage. Still Bombi going to keep tabs with that Rocket Flare and just know where they are. There are a lot of heroes coming up here. Bombi, be a little bit cautious about how far he goes as now Yamate will get the Avalanche and the Cookie in. Still Red's going to come in with the Doom on the Phoenix. He wants a trade for that Clockwork kill, and Hung's even going to jump in now on the Monkey King. But are they going to be able to catch anyone out? Still chasing down that Phoenix, and they do get the Balance Strike off. Red will eventually just pick up the kill with the Doom damage. You'd say that's a pretty decent trade for 496.
Yeah, it's an off lane for a support. You're not going to mind that at all. You're building up on Hung. You're building up on Red. This is a pretty good start for them. They aren't quite on top in net worth, though. There's a slight edge there for New Esports. But I don't think 496 is too worried about it. Their early game is supposed to be the one that's not as great. And of course, the Medusa does farm fairly efficiently. Lance does have space now to just farm up. There are no wards here from 496, so that's a bit of a mistake. Not keeping track of that jungle area for the Medusa. And if you allow Lance to just sit like this, I think you're in for a world of hurt. So at some point, you're going to have to jump in and intercept. I am still wondering what the heck is up with DDZ. Necronomicon. Snap.
Yeah, it's a new one, John.
I don't know. It's strange, I think, is a very, very neutral way to say it. There it is. Book 1.
I mean, it gives you more push, I guess, but it really doesn't make any sense. When you do look at the side of new Esports with their draft, though, they are lacking push. Like Red, nice juke out with that Cookie, but Mortimer's Kisses are coming in, and Red can't survive the damage output from the Snapfire. I guess it makes some sense though, John, because they don't really have great push on the side of new Esports. So they need something up until this Medusa is ready to go.
Yeah.
I suppose for DDZ, this is the idea. Just use the Necro Book.
I suppose. They do take the tier 1 bot now, 496. They're going to go for the trade up top. Do find it. But I think this is a bit better for 496. They're invading that jungle. You don't want to really have Lance around here, so it's time to ditch that bot jungle, and they're hunting.
Candy gonna get spotted. Primal Spring in with the Boundless Strikeout and the Fortune's End, but he's already Icarus dived away. So the Fortune's End does connect, and that BB looks for the Purifying Flames, but no, they get the hook shot. They'll want to give it to Russman, but the egg came off. I guess it's one positive is they might waste the egg, or maybe not the Cookie.
What?
DDZ was there in time. Oh, they wanted to give the kill away to Russman.
Oh, that's just too greedy. Bombi shouldn't have run. Like, if they got that one right click off, that egg would have been gone. The fight would have fallen apart. Now, because of that, DDZ immediately gets level 2 Necronomicon.
Yamate
So,
still gonna get caught out. Cookie is there, but he will still go down to the Boundless Strike of Hung. And yeah, like you said, Necro 2 book now on DDZ. Just such a weird build. What is happening today?
I think he was a while ago. I thought I saw what he was trying. So he gets up the Necronomicon creep, feeds them the cookie, gets a stun, plays by himself. But you could do that with like a Dominator. You don't necessarily need investment in a Necro book. See, I think your point with the push is working out. They have been able to find objectives like this. 496 are 2k behind now, so if they smoke up, they still have the Doom. They can try making something happen here.
They're going to give it a shot. Into the mid lane they go, but Hung has to be a bit cautious not to die himself. Try on Candy Loon. Shot, perfect from Bombi with the boundless strikeout, and now the Conks push back, and the follow-up stun from Red should be enough, and is. Candy does go down. There is a counter smoke out from New Esports, and they're going to make it over to Russman to try and get an even better kill now on the Spectre. They might just get there as well as he's getting low. He'll try to dagger away, but he cannot. Still Hung. Wukong's command to come out. They get the Doom off on the Medusa. They'll get Mosin as well on the bench, but Hung is very, very low in terms of HP and will die to DDZ. And now even Red getting tossed into DDZ on the Snapfire, getting blocked up. They'll get a false promise, and they'll keep trying to go 496 with Bombi running into the clockwork. He'll go on to Yamate. It'll be a 1-for-1 so far. Red, he'll try to make a run now that he is healthy, but he's not that healthy, so he can't fight back. They'll get Bombi. The only one left is going to be Red on the Doom. That is a successful team fight for New Esports.
Yeah, they win in a big way. Really good use of that first Stone Gaze coming out from Lance, and 496, the fight's just kind of falling flat. They're not finding the initiation they want. They desperately need an initiation tool on Red. They need to blink up on the Doom. He is working on the pipe first, but they are losing a lot of ground.
Another great cookie out from DDZ into the swap of Mosin. New Esports into that tier 1 mid tower, and it looks like they're just going to be able to take it. Lance even joining in now on the Medusa. Top of the net worth board. 496, they are starting to fall behind.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bad now. They're not quite finding the earlier success that they had. It looks like New Esports does have their number. Russman's still trying to farm up, though, into the Manta style for him. So it's a Manta rush, maybe the Diffusal down line, maybe not. Just opting to skip it altogether. We'll find out. They should maintain control in their jungle. You really need to play catch-up. But
Cookie again does actually land perfectly onto that BB. He's going to try and escape, and Bombi gets him with a hook shot into the double cogs, but the Avalanche is going to be out from our Tiny, and now the egg is being committed. 496. They're going to try and rush the Phoenix egg, but a 3-man Cookie out from DDZ. Can they fight back, however? New. They are dropping like flies now. Mosin trying to run, but cannot. A double kill out for Hung. Lance, he came, but he was just a bit too late. Yamate, however, Avalanche toss going to kill off Hung on the Monkey King. So they overextend a little bit there, 496. It's still going to be a 2-for-3 trade. But you didn't really have to lose Hung. You could have avoided that.
Yeah, it's not quite how they wanted that exchange to go, so they don't lose too much from you because of that kill. It kind of offsets their losses. And you can see that 496, they're just trying to buy Risman some space here. They fight, Risman sits back, he pops the haunt, maybe comes in, goes back to farming. That's all you want from that. Spectre, New, and they're stalling out here for Lance as well. While your Spectre farms, the Medusa farms as well. So it's a back and forth between those cores. 496 have taken control in that jungle for a bit, but it doesn't look like New Esports will let them maintain that control for long.
Probably not. New is definitely back at it now. Six. Still wanting to keep up the aggression. They need to make more space for their Spectre. Russman does not feel safe on the Spectre right now, even in that mid lane. He's going to be forced to back off as he does see the side of New Esports. At least now he does have the Mad style up. He's going to be stuck just trying to farm in this jungle area, in the triangle of the Dire.
There is little hope for Dire's
Yeah,
middle tower.
it's gonna be the Diffusal next for Rusman. So they actually are just going all in on that, Mike, just burning through that Lance Medusa, getting the mana off. We'll see how that pays off down the line if it does come in. There is a smoke from 496. They don't quite have Haunt, so Restman's not going to join in, but they managed to spot the Roach with a good scan.
Have Rocket Player's going to be out as well, but New Esports not quite backing off yet. Lance getting... Oh, he's getting double bashed. Smoke up. Bombi looking to break that smoke. Not going to see anyone yet. Wait on the other side of the river, but Avalanche tosses there. That BB trying to survive, but cannot. And now Bombi gonna hookshot it anyway. Hung will not Primal Spring. They want to leave. That might mean New Esports may be able to just go back into the Roshan pit if they want, or try to force a team fight. That's what they're going to try and do. Hung, Avalanche tossed. He'll go for the balance and the Wukong's command. Is it going to last long enough, though? The egg has been dropped. Rusman trying to focus it down, but the swap from Mosen going to make sure the egg survives. They've dropped two. Rusman trying to run, but they have the Sunray to follow up, and that means it might even be a full team wipe as Red gets tossed back. He gets a good stun off on the Doom, but it may not matter. In fact, the Fate's Edict is going to keep them safe from that BB. But they lose another 3 heroes. Certainly very, very bad news here for 496.
It's a massive loss for them. New Esports, they find some big kills. They go back in the pit. You do still have Doom, but the respawns are a bit too long. Maybe you make a play here with Bombi. He is TPing in. They don't want that rush to go for free.
I think you just go with Bombi. Just leave everyone else out of the pit. Just try for the Aegis still if you are the Clockwork. Problem is the Aegis is getting very low, and the side of New Esports are watching all avenues of entry. It'd be a pretty hard hookshot to make it anyway. They'll just take the Aegis for free. That'll go on to Lance. This Medusa, John, he's getting close to that Eye of Skadi build up now. Almost has that second ultimate orb. Once that's up, you start to really question how much further 496 can push this draft. They're already just so far behind as it is.
Yeah, they need some, not some, they need a lot of farm coming out here for their Spectre. Rusman has to be on point with his efficiency, and
That'll be alright. I thought there was more in that mid lane.
playing tag a bit still. The progression here for 496 stalled out a bit. Like, this is 6k behind with a Doom, and you love to point it out, but Doom has Devour. You should be maintaining a little bit more gold on your side here for 496. It's not quite up there. In fact, Red is the poorest core in this map, so it's not been a good time. And the shove up top, they're not going to stop it.
No, they're not. We haven't even seen a Stone Gaze this game yet.
No.
Like, we haven't seen one. Lance has not needed to use it. Tier 2 top tower going to go down very, very easily. Rocket Flare going to come in, but does nothing. They're trying to get a push in that mid lane, but Yamate's just going to clean that up with the Tiny. 496, they just need to buy time. Like, you've got a less than 9k Spectre, now 9k. Still trying to work towards the Diffusal Blade, but by the time that's up, you question whether it's going to be enough, John. Like, you just pop the Stone Gaze.
Yeah, it's feeling like the timing's a bit off. They get a good scan here to spot the movements of New, but I'm not 100% sold on the Diffusal because there's that Scotty you were mentioning. So it's up and running on Lance. He's got even more stats. He's got a lot of durability on hand. I'm looking at DDZ. He's got a Solar Crest with a Necronomicon, so it's more of a utility snap coming out here, not about the gulp. It has been working out though. They've really managed to make this one work. They're just finding these tier 2s in 496. They know they can't defend. They just have to play it safe and keep farming.
I actually kind of like this from DDZ though. Like, the fact that he can control the Necro unit so he can land the cookie properly. And even the Solar Crest, right? You just buff up Lance, he takes towers faster. It's a really clever kind of use of this core Snapfire that we haven't seen yet. But it is pretty efficient from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, it's less flashy. I think it's really just going down to giving them that ability to take these objectives, and it really has enabled that push. Like, you wouldn't be able to get this done without the Necro tree up. So we're at 22 minutes in, 2 lanes completely gone except for the tier 3s. They only hold on to the bot tier 1 here for 496. Map space is limited to farm up. You are making steady progress for Rusman's Diffusal Blade, so that's going to be up at some point. Although
Yamate saw him. Yamate knows Hung's in there. He'll jump out of the tree. That'll be enough.
yeah, I mean they're keeping really good track of these heroes from 496. Hung just can't go out and farm safely even. So just limited map space. 496. I mean they smoke up. They just want to reveal these items. They still have the Aegis. Not much risk here.
No, there is not. Into the die triangle they go. Maybe not. They'll hold out for now. They are hesitating a bit to go to that high ground. They'll eventually make it up and spot out Bombi, so they'll just go for the easy avalanche toss kill. Lance will go ahead and take it on the Medusa. Lance is going to have the butterfly up at a decent time at this rate. Like, he just... With the way this game's going, in fact, butterfly, he just bought a Demon Edge. Does he want an MKB?
Perhaps. Yeah, it's an MKB. He switches it out. So he's going to go for that stable source of damage. They maintain control on the triangle. They take tier 1. Only a tier 2 left in the bot lane here for 496 across the entire map. Just really limited in farm. The Diffusal for Rusman's about 300 gold off. So you're going to have that running through Spec, but with the timings here, with the tier 3s being pushed in now, 496 will be forced to defend soon.
Lance just taking out half its HP already. Still has the Aegis. They'll jump in with the Doom now. Just try and take him out. But they'll turn around and fight. Wukong's command is committed by Hung. It's a nice one as well. They do get Mosin on the Snapfire. Now onto DDZ, but the egg is going to pop from Candyloon with all the Fire Spirits to fly out. They've almost got Bombi in that Clockwork, but the False Promise is going to be there from that BB to try and save. But Hung on the Monkey is going to be the first one to go down. Lance is just fine. He popped the Stone Gaze, it was wasted a bit, and he is a bit low on mana. But apart from that, he's going to get this tier 3 tower. They're not even going to try and reset, they'll just go after the mid-racks.
Yeah, I mean, those were all the big spells blown. And oh,
Nice toss back from Yamate. It'll be that baby going down. That'll be your mid-racks gone. New Esports. I mean, they're looking strong, New Esports.
yeah, it's on point. They just hit and run all the way back. Really unfortunate timing. Lance's Aegis expired, and oh no.
Bombi trying to go for the hook cancellation. Maybe they can get Lance here, but Lance, oh, with that Mystic Snake, heals up quite a bit of mana. Still trying to just walk out of this one. He needs some help. There's not much help on the way, so they might actually kill off the Medusa, but nice swap out from Mosin, buying time. Eventually, Rusman does get there on the Spectre, and now the Boundless Strike is out from Hung. They will also kill off Mosin. So 2 big pickoffs there for our Spectre. Does give him a fair bit of gold, but when you look over to the Medusa, John, the MKB is now completed.
Yeah, it's really hard to fight into Lance now. Like, Rusman is making some steady progress. It looks like he's going for the Skadi next. So just raw stats, trying to get to the point where he's also really tanky on that spec. It's going to be a while until that's up. But 496 are hanging in. It's a 10k deficit though. New Esports are still very far ahead. And DDZ, I'm happy to say, Mike, he is queuing up the Ags next. So
Nice.
we are going to see the Ags come out at some point.
I mean, why not, right? Like, if you're a utility Snapfire, you may as well have the Aghanim Scepter as well, but Hung, DD Rune. Spot out DDZ, goes for the Primal Spring and the Purge. Bombi is there with the Cogs pushback, and they will get them in Snapfire. Mosin, he has a swap, does get a stun off onto Hung, force him to BKB, but now Red's going to jump in with the Doom out on the Phoenix. Avalanche going to slow things down, but Hung back in there. Back onto that Phoenix, but there's Lance now with the Stone Gaze. Hung, False Promise, going to buy him more time to chase down this Phoenix, but Candy is now no longer doomed, and it looks pretty bad for 496 as they do fall apart. An immediate smoke out from New Esports as they are going to rush down the mid lane. And I believe
Yeah, I
that
love
means
that
tier
play.
4 towers, John.
Oh yeah, they're just going for the jugular here. They know there's no Doom, and that's a big part of 496's team fight. There's no buybacks here as well. They're just gonna get what they can. If not the tier 4s, then they can just go up top, as the creep wave should allow them to go in. Yeah, safer play, but still not something 496 can stop.
It's true. Tier 3, not going to last very long. On to the rats. It's very surgical play here for New Esports. They do end up killing off that entire top racks now, and 496, I mean, they're just watching them. They know they can't initiate right now. They won't be able to punish either. New just going to walk out of there for free. They can just set up for the next Roshan. It's already up.
Yeah, perfect timing for them. There's some pressure here for 496. They really can't allow this one to slide away. They don't have a TP point in the outpost as well. That was taken off. They should be aware the rush is happening. They need to play with these flares. Bombi has to keep that vision up. But it falls way too fast here from you. They're probably not going to make it in time.
They're not even trying. Like, they're smoked up down to the bot lane. They don't know what's happening. It's too late. Get easy, taking the Aegis on the Snapfire of all things. Makes enough sense, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Gives them some leeway with how far forward DDZ can be. Still, there's a smoke.
That's what I'm gonna do. Trying to wait to see if they'll go high ground. No, it looks like they won't. Just group up to the bot lane and might start setting up for that T2 tower push down to that bot lane. That's the smarter way to play it anyway for New Esports. You're not really going to be able to get any objectives if you don't. So, going to try, but 496 look like they're ready to try and defend this bottom tier 2 tower. If they lost this fight, however, they only have 2 buybacks. Maybe a third coming soon on the Oracle.
It's a risky spot to force a big fight out, but
And they jump in. Red is trying to get the Doom off, but no, the Avalanche toss is there. And now the Stone Gaze. Lance has got a perfect. Rossman, he's been false promised, but it won't matter. He's losing everyone around him. Hung will buy back immediately. They got the Doom on the Deucer. She will not die, however. Now Bombi, who's still trying to fight this one out, is probably just going to go down on the clock. On the brighter side, John, they got all their buybacks available before that team fight happened. So they can defend high ground, but they call GG.
ooh, New. I mean, again, they played the series yesterday, Mike. They did take that 2-0 in the best of 2. In 496, it doesn't look like their situation's any better. Now, to be fair to 496, they are playing with an additional sub. That is affecting chemistry a bit, but they've got to step up to the plate. They've got to do something here. Their playoff life is on the line, and New Esports, they're not going to give any breathing room here. Really good showing in game number 1.
Let's see what they can do in game number 2. It's MLP and JohnXFire, and we'll be back in 10 minutes for our second game of this BO3.